good to see you this morning.
Thank you. Thanks
As you came in, you said, I'll try not to swear about these comments. Look, this is the day when there are a record number of food parcels being handed out, according to Trussell Trust figures. These are communities that you're interacting with every single day and trying to support. When you hear Chief Economist for the Bank of England says, just accept you're poorer, food prices going up, you're just going to have to accept it.
Well, it's immoral, and what it does...
Immoral?
It's immoral. That kind of language is immoral, and what it does is it splits societies. It speaks of money, not of people, business, not of humanity. I thought the Bank of England was supposed to control inflation. Them kind of statements just fuel it. It's appalling, and I'm just disgusted. You know, we see children literally hungry. It's creating another set of poor. So he's speaking to the new poor, people who are working and need to access food banks, and he's not speaking to the poor beneath that, and it's creating another class of poverty, those that don't have a voice, those that don't really matter because they don't vote and they don't have money to invest, and he's speaking against that section of the community, and that section of the community is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's why I just believe he's very, very misguided.
Tell us about how things have been over the last months, the last couple of years in Burnley, and how you're seeing things changing amongst the people you work with compared to a few years ago.
So it's worse now than in COVID because people were willingly donating, but now everybody's feeling the pinch, so there's less donations of food, donations of monies. We seem to be moving towards community-type kitchens where you buy the food. So again, it's reduced, it's subsidised, greatly subsidised, but again, that speaks into two levels of poverty because there's still a type of person below that can't buy it. And so we're seeing the new poor rising above the poor, and it's going that way.
Do you mean that there's a new poor because there's a section of people who are working poor?
Yeah, middle-class people that never had to go to a food bank before.
Well, it's interesting you say that because on the food bank issue, we've had a number of people getting in touch. For instance, Hip2Be on Twitter says, I used to donate to food banks, but stopped when I realised that people who were earning £30,000 a year use them. Jerry says, I have neighbours where the mum is a nurse and claims, I mean, I don't know how Jerry knows what the nurse's wages are, but claims the nurse is on 60,000 and the dad's on 30,000, and they use a food bank. Food banks are accepting people without official referral. The girls, I do not believe that so many people need to use a food bank and instead should learn to budget better and live within their means. Firstly, is it true that people on wages of up to 60 grand or 90 grand in this case as a family?
I'm not seeing any of that. That to me is just foolish talk. You might get 1, 2 per. The percentage must be negligible. Right. You know, I don't think that's...
So that's a myth that's
that's not real.
But there are people with mortgages and with debts and with bills where everything added up and then suddenly inflation has put prices up and they can't make everything add up, and it's probably the mum and dad's food which is being cut so the kids can eat.
Yeah, so we're seeing, say, a 12-year-old, I can give you an example, a 12-year-old little girl not eating and developing an eating disorder, and when I've spoke to her and find out what's going on and spoke to the family, it comes out she's not eating so the little ones can eat. So she's developing an illness.
Because she has younger siblings.
Because she's got younger siblings.
And she wants to see them
eat. Yeah, and we're seeing this over and over and over again, you know. Children going to bed hungry. And, you know, really funnily enough, be really interesting if you could say to a child whose stomach makes a funny noise when they lie down in bed, because they told me. And I said, do you not eat? Have you not had your tea? Have you not had your supper? I said, don't be silly, Pastor. You only eat in school.
So the only meal of the day is the school meal?
Yeah. So now them children have accepted being poor. And I wonder if the gentleman from the Bank of England would like to speak into that.
Sure. Can I ask you about one other issue which we've been talking about today? We're talking about police standards and whether we are properly making sure that we vet new recruits to the police to make sure there aren't past criminal convictions, and there's lots of worry about variability. Of course, you in your life, at an early stage in your life, you had charges against you. You got into trouble with crime and with drugs.
You were arrested for murder twice.
Yeah.
Do you think that disqualifies you from being a public figure like a police officer, or do you think that we also need to be able to forgive and let people change?
That's such a good question. I think for policing, it's different and it should be looked at differently because it's upholding the law of the land. And I don't think I would be fit to be a policeman because of my past. You know, I still feel forgiven, I still push that, but I think no would be the answer for me. I think heavy vetting, and I think the problem is it's the different areas, isn't it? Like in Lancashire or in London or Leicester or different places. It's not constant. So we don't have it's a little bit like the law itself, the sentencing. It's not constant.
That's what our survey showed today.
Yeah,
that's right. There's a huge disparity between areas.
But it's very interesting that you are a community leader. You are a man of the cloth. You're somebody who is doing hugely good works, but you think that for you...
You'd rule yourself out?
I would rule myself out, definitely, just because I don't think it's right that I have a criminal past and then to be arresting people.
Now, I wondered if you'd come in dark glasses for another reason.
Anonymity.
Anonymity, perhaps, but you say it's because of an eye condition you have. But there might be another reason to wear them, because your story is being made into... a TV series, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, they're in the early stages of it, but it is. It's a series, so it'll be quite interesting. So it's based on me.
Are you not tempted to play yourself?
It'd be handy, wouldn't it?
Who's playing you? Who's playing Pastor Mick?
I was thinking with the dark glasses, you were getting that Tom Cruise look.
That'd be all right, yeah. Maybe his brother Portadella, but that's about it. That's as far as I go.
And you've been invited to Buckingham Palace. You already have royal connections, don't you? You're good friends with Prince William and Kate.
Yeah.
So what's the invitation to...
So it's just the garden... Well, it's just the garden party.
Just the garden party for the King's coronation?
Yeah, it is, which is quite bizarre because I want to go between 100 and 500 miles towards the royals.
And do you get a +1?
Yes, I do.
Have you decided who to take?
I am, yes, yeah. I'm taking my partner, yeah.
I mean, what would the 14-year-old drug runner, Mick, think about that? That in decades to come, they would be invited to the garden party to celebrate the coronation of the King.
It is ridiculous. It's almost ridiculous. It's the stuff of Hollywood, isn't it? It's crazy, but
Well, good to talk to you this morning,
Thank you very much for having me on.
And what an interesting indictment of the chief economist's comments.
And congratulations to Burnley.
Thank you.
On that promotion to the Premier League.
I'm beating Blackburn.